Is with us, best-selling author and political analyst back with us. Mark Halperin is here and joining us in studio in our Wake Up America studios here on the 22nd floor in Midtown Manhattan. Republican strategist and the executive director of USA Strong and attorney Erin Elmore. Erin, good to have you in-house.
Thank you for having me. This is such a delight, and I did wear red just for you.
I saw you in the hallway, and I said, see, she got the message. We didn't text. Normally we would text, but we didn't text this morning. Mark, there's red in that tie, right?
There is red in that tie, Rob.
See, Mark? See, TW, Turtleneck Friday, huh?
It is Turtleneck Friday, but I don't want to go any further before we move past Sarah saying, Rob, women just can't take their eyes off of it.
I had the control room clip that for future use. Yeah, yeah, that's not, it's not true, but I will take the compliment, absolutely. That's again her exact quote, I don't think about it, nor have we talked about it. Do you believe her?
I could hear the cackling coming off the page. With both of our approval ratings so low, I think they realize that they're in a massive crisis here. I think they need to get through the midterms as well, because we saw in Virginia a little taste of what's to come. If it's anything like that, we are going to experience a bloodbath for the Democrats. Everyone is fed up with the vaccine mandates. Everyone is fed up with the mask mandates. Our children don't want to learn critical race theory, and neither do the parents. So I do believe that the midterms are going to be a telltale sign for what's to come in 2024, and I think they're scared, and they don't have anyone in the wings waiting. Pete Buttigieg, not a great option. So they really need to fill their bench, proverbially, to see what's going on for them, because right now, it's not looking very good at all.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think about that, TW. I think they're rushing. I think Pete Buttigieg right now is in over his head. I think maybe 28, 32, he'll still be young, very young, by the way. So will Ron DeSantis. So why rush Pete Buttigieg to the front of the stage?
Shake my head because Erin said Raves don't start this early, when in fact they go all
come
night.
on now.
No, Erin, they're from the night before. Like you get there at 11
just
p.m.
getting kicked off.
Raves aren't even a thing anymore. You guys are sounding a little dated.
Things are a little funny down in Jupiter. Welcome to New York City,
Things
all right?
here.
Mark and I on the Upper West Side. Ooh.
You guys are really fun this early. I'll take it all day.
We are. Well, we just came here from a rave, so left the rave, came to the studio. All right, Erin, you took a flight from Florida to New York yesterday. Question for you, and they've done this for the last 20 plus months. I just read that they stopped doing this. Did they make the announcement during the safety announcements in the very beginning that they use HEPA filters and the air is circulated every 90 seconds or whatever? It would have stood out to you because they used to do it several times while you were going through the safety procedures in the beginning. Did they do that?
They did not. I was on United into Newark, and that was not part of the protocol in any way, shape, or form. However, our flight attendant was very particular about wearing masks incessantly and almost in a threatening fashion, which I think people have had just about enough of. We all know how to wear a mask. We know what they may or may not do, but that announcement was not part of the protocol. And as you said, a few of the airlines, American, I believe Southwest, have said they don't want their passengers to have to wear masks anymore. And I believe that their employees don't want to wear them anymore. Yet our administration currently is forcing this subject and making threats almost against these airlines. And it's really hard to see, why can't corporations in this country make their own decisions?
Mark, final thought, jump in.
My focus group last night, 2 folks participating from Florida said in their daily lives, unless they have to fly out of state, you wouldn't know in their daily lives the pandemic is still going on.
Factual.
No masks, no discussion of it. People have moved on in that part of the country for a lot of people.
Hold on.
But if you're in New York City,
lowest cases in the country, Florida. Lowest death rate in the country, Florida.
But you know what everyone says? They just say, oh, it's because you guys are spread out and the weather is nice. Why was there a pandemic during the summer then when the weather's nice everywhere?
Interesting. More major cities in Florida than any other state in the country.
And two airline CEOs yesterday said they don't see any reason to wear masks on the plane.
So I have that sound. One is the CEO of United. We'll play that at the top of the hour and get some reaction to this. But this debate is interesting because I think if planes do decide to tell people that because they want the business, they want families to fly. A lot of people are driving cross country because they don't want to deal with their 1.5-year-old being told they've got to wear a mask for 6 hours. This morning, guys, TW, Mark, so nice having you in studio, Erin, as well.
Thanks for having me.
Mark from the rave, huh? What do they call them now? Not raves?
They call them de Blasio raves.
Discos?
There's irony. There's irony embedded in the name of it.
Disco's not back.
No.
Disco is not back.
Although I would have been a Studio 54
political parties on Martha's Vineyard. That's what they're called.
Ooh, yeah. Not super spreaders. Sophisticated, vaccinated crowd there.
The club.
Panel, we'll pick this back up top of the hour. Alex Kramer is with us. She's got to look at headlines. Hey, Alex. Start with our packed powerhouse panel. We start with the CEO of Chickasaw Bank and the former Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives and the current Oklahoma Republican strategist and Turning Point USA contributor Erin Elmore making her first ever appearance on the White Couch. Erin, great to have you in-house. Mark, good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning. And to you, Robin. Monday we'll be here soon enough, and then we'll be talking about how it's, oh my God, it's the end of the year. I can't believe it.
Can you believe, Erin, I just saw you shaking your head, but he's right.
Unless you're a government bureaucrat, you're really hurting, and you feel it.
Totally.
It's the kitchen table issue that are really hurting Americans. When they go to the gas station, they say, oh my goodness. When they go to the grocery store, oh my goodness. And those are the issues that this administration is completely missing. It's the inflation that's happening. And I will say the one reason why I am better than I was a year ago, I was living in a blue city in a blue state. I was living in Philadelphia, and now I live near Palm Beach, Florida, under Governor DeSantis. So my life is better because the pandemic is over down there. People are stimulating the economy. They're going out to eat. They're not living in fear. You come up here in New York, everyone is wearing masks outside alone. They're buying into this. And you say, when is the pandemic going to end? Up here, never, because everyone is compliant. They'll get the 19th, 20th, 97th booster.
Think about Philadelphia, by the way. 525 homicides in that city this year alone. That's a record. 525 people have been murdered in Philadelphia this year alone. It's unbelievable stuff.
My friend's car was stolen last night off the street in Philadelphia.
It's just unbelievable.
It's just affirmation that the founders got it right, that you know, freedom actually works. I mean, it's amazing. And as Mark mentioned, it is the tale of two countries. And when you look at where freedom has been allowed to reign versus tyranny, people are faring better. The mental health issues are better. The economy's better. Freedom works. That's the
Sounds very suspect. Very suspect.
I'm in back having the chipper chicken. Mark's up front having the lamb. You know?
He got it at the rave.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get back to the airlines, by the way. The CEOs were testifying on Capitol Hill this week. Gary Kelly, the CEO of Southwest Airlines. Scott Kirby, by the way, Erin, that's the CEO of United. I know you flew United last night. Let's take a listen and then get some reaction.
Safer than a theater, safer than a
far safer than a theater, safer actually than an intensive care unit, because we have HEPA grade filters, but we filter the air 20 to 30 times an hour, and a typical ICU is 2 to 3 times an hour.
The CEO of the airline you flew last night, he said that basically these HEPA filters that we've all heard so much about, these aircraft filtration systems, they filter 99.97% of airborne pathogens. And the CEO of Southwest said these masks that people are wearing on planes don't add much, if anything. That's a direct quote. What do you make of them pushing back against these Biden mandates where people are required to still wear masks on airplanes? By the way, if you want to wear a mask on a plane, you can forever. But what do you think about those mandates and the pushback?
These are two CEOs that clearly know their business. They didn't arrive in these positions without educating themselves and working hard to get there. What kind of country do we live in? That's the question. Who is allowed to make the rules? These individuals know their business. They know their consumers. They've clearly read the science as well. Why can't they decide what is best for their airlines? We're living in a democracy, a constitutional republic. Why can't we act like it? These people deserve to make their own decisions, and passengers have had about enough. If you want to wear the mask, wear the mask. We should have the choice, and instead we're listening to Joe Biden's administration that's clearly pushing their own agenda for their own personal reasons.
TW, do you agree? I mean, I'm thinking about little kids. I've got a 5 and a 3-year-old, and flying is, we have foregone flying and driven to places not too far away from New York to DC. I'd much rather fly. 5 hours in a car is not pleasant with kids, but I don't want to back up in just a little bit. Good conversation, as always. By the way, Build Back Better, dead. Is it dead forever? Plus, what are you watching for this weekend? We'll get into that in just a little bit here on Wake Up America. TW, Mark, Erin, thank you so much. Let's bring in our powerhouse panel this morning. We've got a packed panel, by the way, on a couch. Republican strategist and Turning Point USA contributor Erin Elmore and the co-host of Wake Up America Weekend, Tom Basile, back with us this morning. Quickly, Republicans right now, they've got a chance of retaking not only the House, but also the Senate. Could this give them leverage to be a no vote if Joe Biden brings this thing back up in 22?
You know, I really like the moniker Build Back Broke, because that's what it would do to the American people. And Joe Manchin knows that in his state, Trump won by a landslide. He, unlike anyone in Washington and Joe Biden's administration, has taken the temperature of his constituents. He went back to West Virginia and he realized these people do not want this. They're looking at the inflation that it's going to cause and where this money is actually coming from. And he said, absolutely not. Now, all the Republicans would love for him to flip the script and become a Republican, which I think he should do. That would be a great little political fodder for all of us on the right. And to be very honest, he's doing the right thing here. And kudos to him for standing up for what's right and standing up for the American people and standing up for West Virginia.
TW, just quickly on this one more question. The Democrats are at absolute rock bottom right now. If you look at that happy Friday to you. Glad you decided to stick with us this morning. Let's welcome back the packed powerhouse panel on this Friday. Mark,
What's the Christmas
what?
Prince?
Really? No one knows what I'm talking about?
No
What is
clue.
that?
Alex
Literally.
Kramer, you know what I'm talking about. It's a Netflix thing. They've done it for like the last 3 years. It was
Christmas
like,
Prince? Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like it's delightful. Actually, I'm not even going to attempt to. My wife makes me watch it. No, I watch it alone. Okay.
Rob,
But
I
it's
think my
fantastic.
weekend is better than all of theirs. No. I
Quickly
just have-
on Omicron, Mark.
No.
Just back to that. Okay, so Dr.
That's part of it, Rob. But also, I feel like part of the country is like in this mass hysteria, and part of the country is engaged in a giant collective yawn. And I just going to watch to see how that.
I like
plays
that,
out
Erin.
before
What
you
part of the country is in mass hysteria? You said it earlier.
New York and LA, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what this has become a religion of the left. This is what they live for. It is basically their way of expressing themselves and remaining in power and in control in an uncontrollable world.
You moved from Philadelphia to Florida just recently, and you put it a way that I hadn't heard before. It's a pandemic of the I-95 corridor.
That was me.
Was that you,
and
Tom?
I'll
Anyway,
take
I'm just
full
saying.
credit for
I didn't realize that, Tom. Is that you? Well, that makes
He's
so
trying
much
to make
sense.
me
Tom.
look good over
Tom,
here.
it makes so much sense.
A
That's the perfect way to
psychosis
put
of
it.
the I-95 corridor.
It is.
Because
Starting where? DC and up?
no, I mean I would go from Boston down to DC, and then it kind of breaks a little bit, and then it breaks, and then it shifts over to the left coast.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And,
I
and the
agree.
Sunshine State, everyone is sunny and happy and smiling because they are not thinking about COVID. They're thinking about how the economy is stimulated and how they're outdoors and how they're living their lives as normal because COVID
Right.
should be left. We'll let the New
Mark,
Yorkers
thinking
have
about
it.
It's
COVID all
endemic.
weekend.
TW, jump in.
Mark is thinking about COVID all weekend.
Looking right now because we
from
weren't
an
thrilled with his.
analytical
What
point
are
of
you
view, I'll also be
watching
eating
for?
lamb maskless all over New York City.
I saw a guy this morning.
Mark, don't sulk just
I-
because we don't like your. What are
There's
you watching
so many
for?
better things he could be worrying about
I
this weekend.
saw
than
a guy
COVID.
this, but Mark lives in the
I'm
Mark
not
lives in the
worrying about
city.
it. I'm watching it analytically. Huge difference.
But he lives
While
in
eating
the
lamb
city.
Sounds like a really boring weekend.
So boring.
I mean, you're going to watch
While eating
coronavirus
laptop.
analytically over the weekend on the Upper West Side. I mean,
and
geez
eat lamb
Louise.
maskless.
Yeah, I know, and eat lamb and fly commercial. All right, Erin, I know what you're watching for this weekend. Turning Point USA's got a big event out west.
Yes, in Phoenix, Arizona, we have America Fest, and I'm so excited. It's great speakers like Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, and great country music artists like Ray Lynn. And why this is so important, how many times, if you're conservative, do you go to a concert or go to a comedy show, and instantly they start with a leftist baloney?
Yeah.
This is not going to happen. It's going to be like-minded people who love America, who are great patriots, all together in the same room, sharing commonality and their
the
love for
only-
America. So
and
I'm
the
very
only
excited.
mask
And by the
that
way,
will
you
be
can
there will be burnt in a giant bonfire.
Yes, exactly. But
Mark.
if you want to wear a mask, that's your prerogative, your body, your choice.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Okay.